Welcome to the Black Delegates Podcast. Today's date is October the 29th, episode 38. This is episode 38. What's up with y'all fellas? We recording a couple days here before Halloween. So we should have wore costumes or something. Paul, you got the furry costume on, bro?
You know I do, man. I got the unicorn, the whole My Little Pony outfit on right now, man. Just waiting to go.
Yeah. What about you, Ishmael? What's your costume?
Black dude in a wife beater. That's my costume. So average, everyday
old
brother.
Old dog from Menace. I see
right.
All right.
Where my do-rag, though? I got a do-rag nearby I can throw in the
Yeah,
do-rag.
that's what's up. And I am the Black Ryan.
You in whiteface?
Yeah, totally in whiteface. So let's get into these weeks in blackness, y'all. What y'all been up to this week? Simple and plain.
Paul. Want to go first? Me? I can go first, man.
Because you don't say you ain't do nothing, dude. Stop saying it.
I don't do nothing cool, man. I'm not, I'm a homebody, man. So didn't do too much. Went to a Halloween party with the kid. So we got to go out. The weather was a little iffy, but it cleared up just in time to go out there. A little muddy. It was like outdoors, man. But just little kids running around. Our little kid went as a pirate. So we went to this little park that he goes to all the time. We're just hanging out there. And it was cool, man. Just little stuff like that. And then yesterday, my aunt came in town. She's like looking for a place, or she's got a place here in town. So just kind of going to look at the place, check it out, kind of see the stuff. So man, she's got a great view, like a high rise downtown. And so we they had a game, a football game, NFL football game going on while we were down there, and just like her view, like you can look down into the stadium, not quite the whole field, but I'd say a third of it or so like that. But you can just see the crowd. So like, yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Just kind of hanging out downtown with the family, stuff like that, man. Nothing too special, man.
That's what's up. About you, Ishmael?
Yo, mine was the same as Paul's pretty much. It was pretty basic, pretty boring. I got this fractured wrist, so aren't able to do a whole lot of stuff with that. Also kind of came down with a little cold towards the end of last week. So between those two, I've just been in chill mode for the most part. But I will say a couple things. So number one, because I had this cast on my wrist, I can't tell you how many times I've heard the same lame, "Oh, you better stop talking back to your wife" jokes. Like, don't talk smack to her. You should be like, dude, making fun of domestic violence is not funny. And no, that's not happening. I did get a couple of texts with that when I told people I fractured my wrist. They're like, "Oh, the jokes write themselves" and things like that. But for the most part, it's been the whole reverse domestic violence angle. Well, not really reverse, because domestic violence is domestic violence, but you know what I'm saying. But otherwise, I really want to know, like, what are y'all doing for Halloween? Because this year, usually, when Halloween rolls around, I don't really do a whole lot. I used to go to parties and stuff like that. Now, for the most part, I'm at the crib. I might throw on a little mask or something and hand out candy to the kids. But this year, I'm actually going to be working. Like, that falls on my late night at work. So I won't be home. I won't be able to hand out candy to the kids. But I want to know, like, what's y'all Halloween agenda? Like, what do y'all do? Do y'all go to parties? Do y'all dress up? Do you hand out candy? Like, what's your Halloween plans?
Well, for me, man, like I got the little one, and man, that little dude's got to go to bed early. So like, I'm gonna get out there early, man. Like the way our neighborhood works, like my house is like pretty much like the first one on the back side of the neighborhood, but it's a long way from the front of the house to our front door. So like, what we do is we put a table out on the front of the driveway, which sounds ridiculous. I never even would have thought of this in a million years until I moved to the subdivision. But that's what all the families do. They put like a table or some chairs at the front of your driveway, and so that way all the kids don't have to walk so far through your yard to get to the front door. So we're just gonna have some chairs out there and let the little kid just kind of run around, and do a little bit like that, man. But yeah, I'm gonna have to shut down pretty early because the kid got to be in bed. It's a school night, so what? We got to 8 o'clock, maybe at the latest, 8:30. He'll be hyped off the candy, so we can't do too much, man. But yo, I miss the days of going to Halloween parties and see the slutty costumes, man. I do miss that part. I'm a mature adult now, but I do miss the slutty costumes and just being able to see that. I don't get to see none of that no more. So man, I'm totally washed, totally in suburbia. That's all I got. What about you, Ron?
Well, actually, we just came back from one of those trunk or treats at the little one's daycare. Her church up there, the church up there did it, and so we just walked through. It was a lot of people up there, man. It was parked there and around the corner up at Shalom. So that was our little thing today, and I think they said they were doing it again Wednesday, but we don't have any plans to do anything Wednesday. For the most part, I don't hand out candy. We usually do something at church, but this year, nothing on the docket to do that.
Yo, man, I already bought my candy for getting ready, and I never buy like the trash candy, like candy corn. Get that out of here! I miss me with all that. I'm never
candy corn is trash.
I try to get decent candy, but yo, man, I was surprised how much expensive candy is. I know I dropped a good $60 on candy already.
It's expensive,
right?
Because it's about $10 a bag. $12 if you get some chocolate.
I think they were like, I got like the variety packs at Walmart. It was like 14, 15. I got like 3 of those, and
Dang.
I always had to steal a couple extra bags of the Reese's peanut butter cups and the gummy bears for myself. But anyway, man.
I gotta complain. Why is it not more chocolate or Reese's Buttercups in the kids' candy? Like, it's a violation, man. My kids, I just went through their bag. It's literally one.
No, fam, they there. It's just people like me eat them off.
You ain't giving them to the kids.
Look, man, one for you, 2 for me.
Right.
1 for you, 2 for me.
Because I buy some every year to make sure I buy a whole bag. And I ain't talking about those miniatures. Y'all can get out of here with that. That's trash. Don't do the kids like that. Get them a whole Buttercup. Get them a whole one. Not those little minis. But,
man,
it was just a few in there, not many.
Look, my wife already done shame me because I have started dipping into the Halloween candy. And I'm still like, man, get this stuff away from me. So like, hey, the kids in my neighborhood, they're gonna be happy because like when they come to, because look, we shutting it down. They'll probably start coming around 5 o'clock, and by 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm going inside, man. So 2 hour, you got a 2 hour window. It ain't gonna be dark. It's gonna barely be dark by the time I go back inside. So I'm just gonna be handing all that candy because I don't want to eat none of it, man. Get it all away from me. So.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way, man. When it came to, whenever I was a kid, I used to hate the little going to the houses with the trash candy, or they give you pennies, or they give you an apple or something stupid like that. So I was like, whenever I'm an adult, I'm always going to make sure I give out good candy. So the kids in my neighborhood going to be a little disappointed because the wife is like, if you not home, I'm not going to be over here opening the door for the kids. She just don't want to do that. She don't feel safe. So kids gonna miss out. One interesting thing I think this was last year. I usually get the chocolate like y'all, the variety packs or whatever. But I felt like I was about to leave and I was like, man, I want to make sure I don't run out. And I grabbed like some Swedish fish.
Fire.
And I was surprised that the kids was amped. Really? They were like, oh, he got Swedish fish. Oh! So that was the biggest hit. And that was like a throwaway candy that I got just like, just in case I run low, let me grab these. But they were amped.
What is the besides candy corn? Is there a single trash candy that you guys?
Tootsie Rolls
are trash.
Get them out of here.
I'm trying to figure out why Tootsie Rolls still exists, man. Who eating them? Who's eating?
Old people, man.
They can't still be eating.
I rock with Tootsie Rolls. I will not rock with the Smarties and the Sweet Tarts. Like, man, get those like
they
the
good,
last
things. Smarties.
They good.
You tripping,
those the last things, man. Get that out of here. Those.
Man. I mean, I ain't eating none, but they good. You can't.
Whenever, because after Thanksgiving, after Halloween, and I do this too. If I have extra candy, I'll take it to work and kind of put it in the common area where people get it. And other people do that too. And when they bring it in, that's what I go for. Let me get them Smarties. Let me get a couple of packs of those. Those fire, man. They're simple, but classic.
Trash. Total trash. Get them out of here.
I'm a fan.
Bam.
Tootsie Rolls can get out of here. And, of course, candy corn.
Tootsie Rolls is alright, man. Tootsie Rolls ain't that bad, man. They
what
got the
is it?
flavor
What
of
is
Tootsie
it?
Rolls.
What is Tootsie Rolls? What is it? Nobody knows. It ain't chocolate. Why you trying to pretend to be chocolate?
It's like caramel or something. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's not
man.
caramel. It's trying to pretend to be caramel too. It's trash.
Hey, Low keto, I like candy corn.
Why?
But I don't think it's a Halloween giveaway.
Okay.
But I'll take it, though.
So you like eating it on Thanksgiving? You just got a bag.
Yeah, I eat some candy corn.
So
man.
will you?
I don't buy it. It's nothing I look for. But if somebody got it,
all right.
No, I don't seek it out. But if I go over somebody's house and they got it, I'm like, oh yeah, let me get some of them candy corn.
All right. I'm convinced everybody's candy corn is the same candy corn. Nobody's ever eaten it. It's just still sitting there.
Just pass it around.
Like what company even makes candy? Like everybody's
Rocks.
Like,
Rocks.
Who? Rocks. I don't even know what that is.
BRACH. Brock.
Brock's. I never heard of Brock's. I don't know what other candy they make. All they make.
Brock's,
yeah, you've seen it.
Brock's,
yeah, you've seen it before.
Okay.
You've seen it.
I'm still not eating it, but I may have seen it.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Ryan? What about your week in Black?
Pretty much said my week just with the Halloween thing that just happened. Nothing else. Oh, how could I forget? My mom came into town this weekend, so kicking it with my mom. Kicking it with my mama. Yep. We hung out. She got a chance to hang out with the grandkids, and I got a chance to, just be like, "Hey, go in there with Nana, and Daddy's finna leave."
Put a move on the mama.
I'm finna leave. Nah, it ain't like that. We ain't got space like that. But yeah. So that was cool. She got to come up. And that's it, other than I just said the Halloween thing just now.
Hold on, before we move on to the topics, man. So y'all vote yet? Real talk. Y'all vote yet or what?
No, we don't have I don't vote early. I don't know if we can.
Yeah, we can, but no, I just vote on election day.
I need to if I can. I need to look that up.
Y'all tripping, man. Y'all just got to get that, knock it out, and go ahead and knock it out, man. Ain't no sense of waiting till that day. And then there's something pop up, kid gets sick, weather be bad or something like that, and you be like, oh, never mind, man, I ain't going. That's how people get tripped up, man.
I ain't going to be able to say never mind on this.
I've never missed an election for no crazy reason. And the thing is that everybody always talk about how it's going to be packed and the line's going to be. I've never really had that. And a lot of times, occasionally I'll go in the morning, but a lot of times I just go after work. I just wait. I go after work. I walk in. There's no crazy line. So I've never had that issue, man. I just vote on election day. I was born on an election day, so for me, I just like to experience that.
I've definitely exactly. It's only been a presidential election, but I remember one we were in some school, man. That line snaked all the way around. It must have took about 40 minutes. And I want to say, the last presidential election wasn't that bad, but the two Obama ones.
One, the first one was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we was up in there for at least 3 hours.
I don't know about 3 hours, but I'd say at least 40 minutes for one of those. I remember staying outside, just having to wait. I mean, everybody was orderly and stuff like that, but yeah, it was moving, but it was just a lot. And I did that on election day. I was like, never again. I'm voting early. So we ain't doing this no more.
Well, see, I remember on those Obama ones, like everybody was talking about, oh, you got to go early before work because it's going to be packed. And I did, like driving around, I did see lines out the building, down the street. But whenever, and maybe I just been lucky with where I lived at, but whenever I got off work, because I was like, man, I'm not going early. I'm going to just go after work. I take the L, and I got there, and it might have been maybe 10 minutes or something like that, but it wasn't something crazy. And people, when I got to work, were telling me, oh, yeah, I went at 7 a.m. and I had to wait an hour and a half or 2 hours, and I was like, that's why I just go after work, man. I ain't tripping off all that.
Yeah, maybe more people go early. I think other than that, I mean, it was one time, I think, and it wasn't, of course, a presidential election, but it was one of them times where I was like, I was going to go in the morning, woke up late, and I was like, forget it. And then I went to go at night, and I was like, it's too many people, and I was just like, forget it. That was the one time that's ever happened. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I don't plan on that happening no more. Especially since they out here shaming you, sending those cards in the mail to say you didn't vote on this date. Like, dude, what's this?
Oh, man.
Like, I was good except for that one, but we got a bunch of those in the mail.
Yo, my wife, like, she must have got on some kind of mailing list because she's been getting texts here recently and a bunch of stuff. She like about go vote, make sure you go vote and all that. You haven't voted, and also I'm like, I'm not on the mail list, so she's been getting all this mail and stuff like that. And I haven't get none of it. I'm like, cool, I don't want none of that crap.
Every time I text back, stop. No,
I just put you put you in the block, man. I just put them through block. That's it. Don't even bother to stop.
But it is important to vote, so folks, make sure you get out there and vote, whether you're Democrat, Republican, or whatever. Well, actually, if you're Republican, don't vote. Not in this election. Just go ahead and sit this one out. Right. But no, it is important to vote. I hate when I hear black people or brown people say they don't want to vote. It doesn't matter. Stop it. When you don't vote, we get situations like we are right now. So get out there and vote.
Yep. Real talk. All right, man, let's get into it, fellas.
Let's get into it.
You want to talk about the first one?
Yeah, I want you to. I'm gonna let you do a little hosting, man. Go ahead and run through these. We'll see.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this whole rundown. It's pretty much all my topics.
Yep.
All right,
so I'm gonna sit back and be funny.
All right, so the first one. Let's talk about South Park Susan. Now, for people that don't know, this actually happened just 2 days ago, I think, here in the great city of Charlotte, where I happen to live at. These two black ladies were in the South Park area, I guess Myers Park area. I don't really think it was Myers Park, actually. We'll get into this in a little bit. But they were outside late at night. I guess one lady she was a resident apartment complex having car trouble. So she called her aunt to come help her wait for the AAA to come to give it a jump or fix a tire, something like that. So it's two black ladies out there, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night outside this apartment complex. They're minding their business, just waiting on the AAA man to come. And along stumbles who is the lady that is now known affectionately as South Park Susan. Her name was Susan Westwood, and she's drunk as hell in the video. You got to see the videos. We'll put them in the show notes. But drunk as hell,
going off the patrol.
And so she approaches the ladies, and basically she wants to know why they're there, and if they're residents of the apartment complex that I guess that she lives in as well. And they tell her that they are, and that they're, what's going on. And she doesn't believe them. So she starts getting in their face and keeps asking them about, where do they live and what are they doing there? And are you waiting for your baby daddy? And it just kind of gets more racist from there. And then she starts getting into how hot she looks. And the white lady, she's like, I'm rich and I'm white. I make $125,000 a year and I'm fabulous. And she's clearly drunk off her mind. And then it takes a turn for the worse at the end when she says kind of goes back to the car, and the whole time, I mean, again, every time in all these instances, I'm just amazed by the patience and just the people that having this. They're recording this and they're not saying anything rude. And I would have.
AKA, why didn't it smack the hell out of her? Man,
what I mean, where is the video of somebody smacking the living S out of one of these people that says something like this? Because man, if they were up in my face with a camera. And saying all this crazy stuff and talking all this reckless stuff at 2 o'clock in the morning, something's going to happen. It's eventually going to happen one day. It just hadn't happened this. But anyway, so she goes back to her car and she's kind of yelling at the girls, but you can tell she's drunk, and she's like, don't make me go get my concealed permit because this is North Carolina. Basically saying hey, it's it's shoot to kill. I can do whatever I want.
Did she say that? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, it's really hard to hear and there's 3 or 4 videos on Twitter, the aunt that recorded, but the third one, that's kind of the threat, and that's kind of where she got on the charges. So anyway, fast forward, she's been fired. Job. She's going to get evicted
because she was doing all that talking about making $125,000 a year and how she was white, and regardless on Monday she was going to be making that money. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, she said on Monday I'm making $125,000 a year. She is not. She got fired in a day and a half. Yeah, and she's going to get evicted from apartment, and they're pressing charges against her.
Yeah, she got evicted
because she's living in the same apartment complex as the other tenants, and so she's kind of harassing them. You know what I'm saying?
They got out of there, and the worst part
is that her first offense or no?
I'm guessing so. I have no.
Here's the worst part of it is the fact that she got fired. So she worked at Spectrum, aka we still call them Charter here in St. Louis, and I'm guessing because she got fired, that they're going to cut off that Spectrum, or she going to lose that free Spectrum, man. They got the fastest high-speed internet, at least around here. So not only do you lose your job,
get on the internet again.
Not only do you lose your house, but you lose that high-speed internet. That's 3 L's in a row. Yeah. 3 strikes you out.
Oh, but let me tell you the other part. So I've been kind of into this story since it's here in the city, and it's not too far. But so let me tell you one other part about this. So and it's kind of the crazy part. So the two ladies, again, they're really calm in the video, and they're just kind of like, okay, yeah. She's like, I'm hot and white, and she's like, you're definitely white, is what they're saying, but they're just being calm. But finally, they had, and once she kind of started making the threats, they call 911, this lady, telling them the lady's harassing her. I guess the first 911 dispatcher didn't, she was kind of asking what's going on, but she didn't send nobody. So they're sitting out there waiting for whatever. And this lady's still out there this whole time. These people are just mind their business. This lady's drunk. I guess she got nowhere else to do or nothing better to do. So she's just out there just harassing them for
like
minutes
an
on
hour.
end. So finally they call back again. An hour. Yeah, something like that. Right. So they call back again to the cops, and finally this dispatcher sends somebody. So this dispatcher sends like a black and a white cop.
Oh yeah.
And so like when they get out there, then they start. So the cops start taking the stories, right? And so I guess at some point the black cop is like interviewing the white lady and asking her like, what's going on? And the black lady and the white lady, she's like, while the black cop's talking to her and trying to ask her, what her side of the story, she calls 911 and basically says like she's being ganged up on by all these black people talking about the cops. She
called the cops on the cops.
Exactly. Yes, and that's the part that hadn't really been talked about as much, but that is like the crazy wild part of this. So it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, that's
actually I was out in that area of town, man. Yeah, she's not really that man. She act like she's rich. Like the part of the town that she's talking about, like that is like some old. That's like some Augustus Bush the 11th. Type stuff where she's talking about she does not live anywhere close to that, man. She's just kind of like adjacent all that stuff, but she's trying to like talk it all up in this video because she's so drunk. This chick, she don't even know what she's talking about, man.
Ish, we ain't gonna let Paul host no more because he turned the show into the Rogan show. He gonna be the only person talking on this mug. Go ahead, Ish. If you can, I'm gonna take back over hosting. Thank you, Paul, for your service.
That was my goal. That was the goal of this thing. Dude, talk so long that you guys say, "Hey, never again." So I'm cool with that.
I say let him.
What say
you,
go. Ish? Do you have anything that Paul didn't already say?
Not really. That's why I interject while he's talking because I know Paul gonna talk. And look, I'm long-winded myself, but I know Paul is even longer-winded than me. So that's why I just give my little interjections in there, here and there. Because I'm like, if I wait, I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say. I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm gonna have a seizure or something. So I just get in where I fit in and hop back out.
Y'all kill me. Okay, no more hosting for me. I'm fine with it.
But what about you, Ryan? What were your thoughts?
I don't know if there's any other words that can be said that Paul didn't say. To be honest, I don't know. He told us the entire story. You did a very good job of that, by the way, Paul. But yeah, that's it.
Check the story out, man. It's hilarious. Yeah. Good video.
I did. I watched the videos. I want to give a shout out to the poster of said tweets because I'm kind of a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ryan hit that follow button
quickly with no hesitation.
Yo, I looked at that before I even looked at the story. I was like, "What is this?"
Yo, I wasn't even paying attention to it, but when I put it in the group chat and I said, "Oh, this is gonna they gonna click on this real quick." Yeah, because I didn't even notice it until then. So, yep, just one of those things.
Yep,
man.
But
let's move on.
White people who trying to harass black people. Keep count, because you see, y'all catching a lot of L's on them jobs. Everybody getting fired, everybody getting evicted. So you might want to rethink that strategy.
Oh, you know what? I did have something to say. But it's related to that. So how do y'all feel? I'm not okay with her being evicted though.
Why not?
Because like we don't want to start going too far to the left. It's cool. I don't mind people losing their job or getting some kind of consequences to it. It's a bit much, but when you start telling people that like you can't live here no more, that's a bit much, man. There's going to come a time where this is going to happen to black people.
It already has happened to black people. The thing is if you're outside harassing somebody and you live in the same place, then what can you do? Because then that becomes like a security issue. Like, now you done harassed me. I know where you live at. I'm going to come back. So it's like, and a bigger thing, I think the real reason why this happens is because the social media backlash is so swift because especially Black Twitter, like we post all that information. We post this where they work at. This is a manager's phone number and email. This is where they live. Contact the. So it's like
I saw that and it was like, this is her manager.
So the whole apartment complex is like, we gonna take heat. If we don't do anything, if we don't step up and do something and denounce this, we're gonna catch heat and people are gonna leave us. We gonna lose money. So it's all about money.
She doesn't work for them though, so that's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna move over that if the lady still lives there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm okay. Again, I say this every story. Okay with the social scorn. Possibly okay with you losing your job, depending on the circumstances. If you can have any kind of sway on people's lives, we don't want those racist people working in those positions. But I don't want nobody losing their housing, man. Like, for real. We're gonna create a literal terrorist one of these days out of these situations. But that's just my opinion.
I'm cool with it, man. I mean, the company, the apartment complex, they got a right to protect their brand, and I just have you got a bunch of camera crews posted up outside, asking us stories, asking our property manager all these dumb questions about things like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can't be too happy about that, man. So it's a private company. They can refuse people if you bring in police to their complex for stuff they don't want to deal with. Hey, more power to them, man.
Okay. All right. Next story.
I gotta go. You want me to talk to him or shut up?
Old Irish dude demands black chick move from sitting near him. Now, I did not actually look at this story. My bad. I should have. Yeah, I didn't. But I'm going to go to Ishmael so that Paul don't talk too long. Ishmael, can you tell us something about this?
What?
Oh, I did see this. I see what it is now. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, Paul could probably give a better synopsis of it. I know...
a more detail.
Yeah, this guy was on a...
Definitely more detail.
A flight.
Details.
The guy was on a flight from Barcelona to London, and this elderly white gentleman, or white fellow, threw a hissy fit, simply because there was a black lady sitting next to him. And not even directly next to him, but in the same row. He was on the window seat, she was on the aisle seat, and he just starts, cussing and yelling, talking about, I'm not about to sit next to her, and calling her names and going out. And the worst part about it, some of the passengers stepped in and said, hey, look, this is not cool. Of course, this is before the flight took off, so the flight attendants had to come in and address all this ruckus that was going on. But what ended up happening is they moved the black lady instead of kicking this old cranky racist white dude off the plane. So they just basically gave in to his demands. He said, I'm not going to sit by this black woman. And I don't remember the exact language that he was using, but he was calling her all types of names and this and that. And they moved her and just left him alone.
Yeah,
Do we know was the flight had it started yet, or were they still on the tarmac?
No, I think they were still on the tarmac.
They were still on the tarmac. Yeah, this is before they got.
I'm surprised he didn't get ushered off.
He should have.
In that case, yeah,
no, he 100% should have. Yeah, and the pilot was actually standing there, trying to defuse the situation, but it was whatever call. But yeah, they moved the lady. I mean, it was crazy. And it was crazy. Like, they weren't even sitting beside each other. There was a whole empty middle seat between them, and he was just trying to slap at her, trying to get her out of there. And I was like,
yo,
man,
they was hitting back and forth like my two kids in the back seat. I don't know what they was just slapping. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. It was ridiculous, man.
But that dude was, the dude was, he, I mean, the little lady, she's old, but they both old, but you could tell she older, and she's tiny, and the dude just a big old fat dude, just swatting with them big old fat arms, man. Come on now. You can't, man, you got to get him off that plane, man. You can't roll with it.
Definitely.
Y'all ever have any bad, flying experience stories? Y'all got anything?
Ish, I ain't been on.
Not really. I haven't really had any flight issues. I mean, I've been on a couple of those little small commuter planes where there's, in a storm and there's a lot of turbulence. But as far as interactions with people, I've never had any bad interactions on a plane. What about you?
Were you skydiving?
No, not yet. I do want to skydive at some point, but I have not done that yet.
If y'all don't know, Ghetto Phenom does everything possible to do something dangerous, man. It don't matter what it is. You can see his eyes light up when you talk about it.
That's not necessarily true. I'm not going to do no rock climbing. I'm not going to, there are a lot of dangerous things that I'm not going to do, but yeah, I'm not averse to a nice little challenge, a little heart rushing event. So yeah, I'm with it. But what about you, Paul?
Okay.
Anything on the flights? Did we lose Box Wine Poppy again?
He ran up his quota. We can't talk no more for the whole episode. We better take advantage of it. Keep going. Keep rolling.
That's hilarious. No, but right. I do know that this particular plane company, Ryanair, it seems like it's a pretty trash airline. Like everything that I've read about it is gotten real bad reviews. They're asking for like the chair of the board to step down. I think they're in some money problems. So, this Ryanair, no offense to the Black Ryan, but Ryanair is trash. We need to get it all the way up out of here.
Okay. All right. I'm texting Paul now, but he'll have to
get in where he fit in, man.
All right. Moving on. Immigration. Let's talk about this immigration situation. This came up in a group of mine, and that's why I threw it up on there. That we were talking about the 5,000 or so people that are walking from, where are they walking from? Honduras? Is that what they said?
I believe so, or I want to say Guatemala, but maybe
started in Honduras. Okay, yeah, somewhere in South America. It's probably good enough. But they have amassed a group of people walking to the United States. So, of course, Americans are up in arms. And I wanted to know what y'all's opinion was on it. I guess I will talk first, though, since
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, dang. Man, we thought we could get by with it. But, yeah.
What it cut out at? What it cut out at?
I don't know. When Ish was talking, she tried to kick it back to you, but it's fine.
Yeah. We moved on to the migrant caravan.
We moved on to the mob. Yeah, AKA the mob. So, okay. Americans are up in arms over this situation, and we were talking about it in another group, and I was wondering what you guys' opinion was, because to me, I feel like in this situation, I'm not one that I've been like build a wall or none of that crazy stuff, but in this situation, we as a country cannot be out here condoning mobs of folks just walking over the border. So I feel like this definitely needs to be handled if they get all the way here. And I know some people got different reasonings as to why they do or don't want these people to walk across the border. I mean, I do think I'm not one that says that you can't come over here. You can come over here the legal way that you're supposed to come over here, or, whatever. But at the same time, I think people just walking across the border, at some point, they do have a need or a resource, and we definitely cannot handle them all coming at one time like that. So, what is your opinion, Ishmael?
I disagree. I mean, I feel like, obviously you have to have immigration policies and whatever, but most of the people in the caravan that are walking towards the U.S., hopeful that they can get in the U.S., these people would be applying for refugee status. So these are people who live in dangerous areas, who may be in countries where you can be killed for your political views, although we're starting to see that happen in America, but that's a whole nother conversation. So there is actually a system to apply for refugee status. So if these people are coming over, it's not like they're just trying to come over and sneak across the border. They're coming as a big group, and they want to be processed as refugees. Now, I think you go ahead and allow them to do that. You put enough people down there to handle all this influx of people. But if people want to apply as refugees, then go by the refugee laws that you have or the refugee policies that you have and process them. And then once they apply, you can reject them or you can accept them, but you can't try to keep them out. America is a country of immigrants. So you can't just sit up here and have this anti-immigrant, policy or actions. So what about you, Paul?
That's easy to say. It's easy to say when you don't have anybody living here, like back in the day, but that's not the case anymore. We actually have structures, and there's a lot of people here. So I find it hard to say that nowadays. But Paul, go ahead.
I think it's all for political theater, man. It's a week to the election. This is something for them to glom onto. It's basically creating a fake controversy or fake disaster so that Trump can solve it. That's what I really think it's all about, man. So he's sending all these people down there, man. It's like they're sending 5,000 some troops down there. These people are like 2 months away from if they even make it. If they don't disband or whatever before then, which okay, where are they getting the money from to fund all this? They're like cars or walking, whatever like that. It's gonna take. They said, and if you don't believe me, go look at the clip of Shepard Smith from Fox News, and he's telling people, "Hey, these people aren't going to be here for 2 months. This is all about the election. That's all this is, man. So it's just this story going to be on the news for next week, and it's going to go away. But it's having real life consequences. But these people, man, this is just they're leaving. How bad would your life have to be for you to be willing to walk hundreds of miles, if not thousands of miles, through some of the shadiest places in the world to go for a chance to seek asylum somewhere, man? Like how? Just think about the choices that the people were faced with, and how dire it must be down there, man. I mean, this is a humanitarian crisis. Now, I'm not saying we can't help everybody, but I think we should, at least do something to process them. I don't know what the solution is. But like Ish was saying, they're coming for asylum. They're not coming here to like steal jobs from people necessarily. They're coming down here like looking for a better way of life, and they don't know any other option because the country they're in is basically collapsing. Is that their elected leaders' fault? Yes, but is that directly those people's fault? No. So it's kind of like, man, I don't know. There's got to be some compassion. There's got to be a way you can do this, and I'm not smart enough to know that way exactly, but there's got to be a way you can do this where it's compassionate. And not just turn people away simply because they're brown and maybe they're uneducated. I mean, there could be some legitimate, assistance or something that can be given to them. I don't know what it is, but we're the greatest nation on earth, and this is the reason people come look to us. This is why we become strong, because helping countries out, man.
We can have all the compassion in the world, but everybody knows that you're not finna leave your back door open so people can just walk in and get what they need. Like there still has to be some type of real structure to it and a plan. You can't just up whenever you feel like just start a caravan and start walking into people's countries. That's just not the world we live in no more. Would we like to have free and open borders where we can all go somewhere we want to? Yes. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world of passports and social security numbers. You can't just walk over there, man.
But that's not even their plan. It's not like they're trying to sneak over. They're coming in as a group to go through.
Well, I know they're not sneaking because we see them on satellites.
And these caravans come all the time. Like Paul said, this is something that's being manufactured for the election. Like, we have all these dangerous brown people trying to come and take our jobs. No, people come to the U.S. to try to get political asylum all the time. We see these caravans a couple of times a year at least. So I don't know that.
Okay, so this is something that happens regularly. I don't know anything.
Yeah, because I've never heard it only gets made a big deal during election cycles. That's the only time they really talk about it, because one side wants to politicize that to say, look, we're in all this danger. Look at all these Hispanic people trying to come across the border. They're going to take our jobs. They're going to rape. They're going to kill. They're going to steal. They're going to destroy. But when you have these shooters, people going into synagogues and shooting up Jewish people, these white people that go and shoot up schools, shoot up black churches, then we don't even look at that as a major problem. We're like, oh, that's a lone wolf. We need to deal with that. This one troubled individual, we're going to lock him up. But when it's brown people coming looking for opportunity, looking to live, then, our country's in terrible danger. So it's just...
Yeah, I mean, the reality of this stuff is like all this border stuff, man. Like, I mean, I'm not opposed to like having, good border systems and things like that. I think in this day and age, we do have to have that. But I think, I just don't like how it's all been blamed on Mexico and poor brown people. When if you really look at the statistics, like the people that are here that that are illegally. A lot of them are coming from Asian countries, and they fly over here. They don't walk across. They fly, and they just stay over their visa.
They just never go back.
Right? They don't renew their paperwork and things like that. They just stay, and then they don't really get wrapped up, and they don't really get looked into. But it's these brown people that are coming across here, and are there criminals in there? Of course, if you're talking about thousands of people, yeah, there's going to be some criminals in there, but most of them are coming over here looking for just work and living, decent lives and things like that. And so I just don't like how that's going down. But this caravan, like, man, I don't know. I mean, they're so far away. I don't even know if they're going to make it here. I never heard no other caravans before. But I mean, if they're going to come over here and seek asylum, and there's a process for that, and there's a process, a well-documented process of seeking asylum, and a lot of people get turned down. I think there should be cases where they may get accepted, but there probably a lot of those people are going to get turned down and sent back home. And so that's just how it's going to play out. So, man, but they're just taking a chance. Like, hey, man, what else do I have to lose? Nothing. I got nothing for me here. There's no money. There's no jobs. There's no education. Nothing. So let me go up here and at least try.
They got one thing they can lose.
Can we fault them?
They kids.
It's their life. Yeah.
They've been trying to separate kids at the border and do all that despite the legal rulings against it. I feel like that's still happening, or there's still a whole lot of kids that are separated from their parents. So you got to be careful with that. But yeah, man, these people just want the American dream. So I feel like you have laws and procedures in place, follow those. There's no reason to send National Guard I don't know. It's a political stunt, basically.
Yeah, I mean, how much money are we wasting? Sending 5,000 troops down there, armed? I mean, what are they going to be? And they're not even going to be here for the next 2 months and we're sending them now for what? I mean,
for votes.
It's
for
not
votes,
like
baby.
I do think they should send the troops down there, because you can't just have that many people just walking across the border, man. You just can't. That's a security risk. But dog, and I ain't saying that those people are criminals coming over here to necessarily rape and pillage. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, you can't have that many people just walking over. Because if that's the case, then somebody that we don't want walking over will. And you don't want to set precedents for that.
I think I mean, a wall or like that. I mean, it sounds great, very simply, but it's just so conceptually.
Yeah,
it's such a big area. At
least we don't have the money for a wall right now. How about that?
I don't think you'll ever have the money for a wall to maintain it constantly. It just, the technologies ain't there just yet. But I mean, again, and nobody's saying nothing about the having some amount of border security down there is not sensible. But I don't know.
I'm surprised we don't have troops on the border.
You know what they need to do? You know what will solve this whole problem? Instead of building a wall on the border, they need to just turn the border into a giant American Ninja Warrior course. And whoever can make it through,
nobody can get through.
You good. You welcome. Right.
You
welcome. If you can complete the border course, you in. You a Ninja Warrior. We welcome you to America. How about that?
Dog, hey, but for real talk, if you ever been down there,
if you just put that one little part from the beginning where they got to jump triangle to triangle, a lot of people are just falling in right away, so you won't have to worry about nothing.
You got to see the little river, the Rio Grande River, man. Like in some parts, that river is like literally like as wide as your arm stretched out, man. It's like 6 feet or something like that. It's tiny. There is some rough terrain back through there, but man, it's a lot of it's not. It's real easy, man. It's real easy to cross.
But once you get over, man. I mean, they've got it now to where you have to go through like hundreds of miles of desert, which is why, and this is a whole nother topic, you got so many people dying trying to come across the border, trying to go through those natural deterrents, as they call them. But that's a whole nother conversation. But we can slide on to the next topic. But I say, quit politicizing this, man. And for
I say, quit politicizing. I say, man, do more for those countries down there and get them. I mean, because this is all our hemisphere. This is the greatest country on this hemisphere in the whole United States, in the whole world, and in this hemisphere. But this is our hemisphere. If their problems do become our problems, and unless you're doing something to help them out, if you're just letting them float and not doing anything, you're going to have these problems, man. It's unavoidable. It's a global world now, man. The problems from across the country, from across the other side of the globe, they'll become ours eventually. That's how it always goes, man. So we got to do something to get these countries on at least decent footing, man. Not having where we just extract their resources and do nothing for them and let them just flounder around, man. There can be more to be done.
And listeners, y'all done heard us go back and forth, heard our different point of views, but what do you think? Do you think that the border should be lax? Do you think people should be invited in, or do you think people should be kept out? What do you feel about the caravan? What do you feel about immigration? Hit us up at email at the Black Delegates pod at gmail.com, or hit us up on one of our social media avenues. So yeah, we can go to the next one, Ryan.
Yep. All right, next one. My daughter is a racist against her own race. This was a Dr. Phil episode that I saw a commercial for. I'll just play a couple seconds of it.
But that's not true. African Americans are loud, rude, obnoxious, and just altogether fat and ugly.
If you ask me, my 16-year-old daughter has a very out-of-control identity crisis. She truly believes she's white. When Treasure was...
What is this? First of all, I gotta tell this girl that her name is Treasure, so we know she's black.
Right.
So that right there, you stops your argument completely. Get out of here. But I don't know what type of upbringing this girl had. I did not watch this Dr. Phil episode. I couldn't do it. But I'm sure that's something my wife would watch, and if she had watched it, she would have told me about it. But how are you racist against your own race? When does this come about? She went on to talk about her hair. She talked about that her hair was not like black people's hair. She said that her nose was not like black people's noses. And then she said that her ears were not like black people's ears. I didn't know black people had ears.
You didn't know black people had ears?
Do we have black ears? Black ears? Do we have black ears? We don't have black ears. This is false. Our ears are like everybody else's ears. But anyway.
Maybe a little more pointy.
A little more
Ishmael,
greasy. Little
Black
more greasy.
Delegation. Depending on what products you use. What do you think about this young lady?
I'm going to kick it to Paul first. I'm going to kick it to Paul first, and I'll come back. I'll let you and Paul tell, and then I'll come behind.
I don't know why y'all asking me. I got no dog in this.
Brown delegation.
Fight.
How do you feel when you see one of our black sisters out here saying that they don't want to be black? Are you guys taking her in?
Oh, we taking with open arms? No,
Are you taking her in?
No, man. Hey, real talk. Let me just burst the bubble on this, man. So this is all fake, man. This is all fake. There's a IG video from the girls. I guess the girl and the mom's older sister, and she said this is all just a way for the mom and the girl that was on the show to get. Have one big, all expense paid trip to go on Dr. Phil's show. And that's all this was.
Right.
Turned out all this was.
I was going to let y'all have a conversation before I busted the bubble. But, and I'll say this. So my wife was actually watching this the other day. And so I walked past and I'm like, what is this? I see this black girl talking about, I hate African Americans and I'm not like them. And I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, Dr. Phil. And so I sat there with her and I watched it for maybe 10 minutes. And I just was feeling like this is fake. Like the way she was talking, the way she would say African Americans every time, or she was kind of slipping up because she was saying, I know that I'm white, but then she would be the African Americans and we, and so she was saying we, referring to herself and African American. So I was like, this don't seem realistic to me. And then when I got online, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, I saw that, like Paul said, the older sister kind of burst their bubble, and they even got some of her old social media posts on Facebook where she's got a bunch of black friends. She swears she hates black people, but all her friends on Facebook are black. All her friends have been chatting about how they were going to get on, and she's talking about she needs a talent agency now. So this was all a hoax. It was just them. And the crazy thing is it seemed like Dr. Phil, people knew about it. But I feel like they felt it was going to go viral anyway.
That's not
cool. So they just went ahead and just ran with it regardless.
Yeah, no questions asked. But you could tell because she kept saying African Americans. If she had said the blacks, then I would have known. But she just said African Americans. So I was like, this seems a little suspect here.
The fact that y'all let me put this on the list and didn't say nothing 4 days later makes me question whether or not I want to be on this show.
Hey.
Well, because you all right, Ryan, man. You fall into the trap, man. You bees in the trap right here,
I'm
man.
just telling a story.
Well, I figured this has been something that people have been talking about. So why not talk about it, debunk it, put it out there?
Word.
But the crazy thing about it, too, is there's two other crazy things about it. I'll be brief. One is that the mother went along with it because the mother was just as culpable as the daughter in this. And secondly, so they were talking about not her biological father, but I guess her mother was married to a white man. And so they were using this story and saying that this girl thought that that was her real father, and she didn't find out until recently that he wasn't, and that her real father was, black, which she, on the show, she denied that was her real father. But they were showing this picture of this white man who I guess her mother was married to. And so it's just crazy that you going to use this guy. He's since passed away. And so you going to have this picture and you going to have this whole made up story with this guy. And it's just false. Like you just using it trying to get a bag. So that's crazy to me. And that's how the older sister, she said that's what pissed her off the most, because she said she know that, the white father, who was not their biological father, she said she loved him. He cared for them. He raised them. But the fact that they would kind of use his name in vain just to try to get famous is just ridiculous. So get them all the way out of here.
Yeah, get up out of here. All right. I'm sad now. I don't know what to do with the next story. I was bamboozled by my own co-host.
Ryan would definitely sell us out on Dr. Phil anytime for not even a free trip, man. Just give him a gift card to like the local Applebee's. He'd do it for us. Do us dirty.
Well, the next story is entitled Will Smith, What Are You Doing, Bro? Paul, this is your story. I feel like you've been talking all show, but that's okay.
All right, keeping it short this time. I'm working on it this time. Okay, so Will Smith did an interview. He had the wife on there with him. I guess the whole family was on this interview. But he was just talking about different things, kind of getting deep into like his relationship with his wife. And like, supposedly they said they never yell at each other. And I'm like, I was yelling at my screen, like, how you not yelling at your wife? I yell at my wife like 5 times a day, man. What are y'all doing? But the funny part of this whole interview was he was talking about his wife. And I guess it was before he was divorced from his first wife and he had already met Jada. He said he had like dinner with her. I guess he was still married to the other wife. But then he went into like a closet and just started crying because he knew this was the woman he needed to be with. And he was telling this, and I was like, how do you just start crying on the first date, man? I was like, so I'm just wondering, like, is this acceptable male behavior for you fellas? And would you ever cry in front of your wife on the first date?
Well, he said he went to the bathroom and cried, so I don't think he cried in front of her, did he?
Oh, did he go in the bathroom? I can't remember. I thought he was like crying.
Yeah, it said he went in the bathroom.
That's even worse, man. Who goes and cries in the bathroom on the first date, man?
I don't know.
You know who cries a lot? And Paul, you may not.
Ryan?
Maybe.
Ishmael. He's about to admit to us finally that he's a crier.
No.
Sorry.
The men, or actually everybody on Terrace House cry all the time. You know, my favorite show in the world. They cry after every little thing. The men, the women, the pets, everybody just crying all the time. So maybe Will Smith spent some time in Japan. No, obviously, it's not appropriate to just be crying on a date, especially over another woman that's not your wife. Like, all of this is all wrong, but it doesn't surprise me because if we've learned one thing about Will and Jada and the Smith family, is they're weird. I love Will Smith. He's a great actor. Support him. But that's a weird brother. Like, him and Jada got some weird dynamics in their marriage where people been talking about they swinging or they do, open marriage or whatever. The kids do whatever the hell they want to do. So I'm going to let Will do his thing as long as he keep making good movies.
He was gonna say keep freestyling.
When's the last time you made a good movie? Let's get on that. When is the last time you made a good movie? That's the question, man. When's the last time you were really checking for a Will Smith movie?
I mean, he just hasn't been doing a lot of movies lately. He's got enough money where he can just go and sit down for 7-8 years. I know he had that Netflix movie, which was, it was alright.
That was good.
It was alright.
I liked it. Interested in that world.
Suicide Squad, was that dope? Was that fresh?
I didn't see that.
I know you saw it, Ron.
No, it was. I don't know. Critically, everybody says they hate it. I watched it. I thought the first half was cool, and then after that, it was trash because basically the big villain, the big bad, was terrible.
Man, I've been cool on Will Smith.
I would say the last one that was good was the one where he was like a con artist with Margot Robbie. What's the name of that movie?
Oh, you talking about the superhero one?
No.
Oh,
that was probably the last movie that I saw with him that was good. It was him and Margot Robbie prior to Suicide Squad. I'll look it up, though.
Yeah, the drunken superhero movie that he was in, that was good. And
Hancock, that was 2008.
Hancock, yeah, right. Man, but those are probably the last two, man. Even before that, but man, it's been a minute since I've even checked for oh man, okay, that's a Will Smith movie I want to see. I guess Hancock was probably the last one, man. That was it for me. I've been out for 10 years on him, man. It's like,
but he hasn't even done a whole lot since then. So that's
the movie was called Focus.
Yeah, Focus. I didn't even see that one.
2015.
Yeah, 2015.
It's a good movie, man. Y'all should
no
check
one
that out.
did. No one saw it.
It was a good movie. I'm pretty sure I saw it on DVD though, but it was good.
Bootleg from the barbershop. We know how you roll.
But other than that, I mean, I can't hate on him in that regard. But yeah, crying. So I'm trying to understand what happened. So how is he buried but he on the date? Were they separated? How does this work?
I'm sure they were estranged. I think that's what he was basically getting to. Okay. So they're having a date, but he goes in there.
He basically left his wife for Jada. So him and Jada had something going on while he was married.
Exactly. But if I did cry, I'm never telling her, man. I'm taking that secret to the grave. That cry is not getting out there.
Yo, that's a great date if y'all just was having such good conversation that you were just excuse me, and you just start welling up in the bathroom because you got the Holy Ghost. That's basically what happened.
The only
I know that's what happened when you and your wife went out the first time, Ish.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's. I went to the bathroom. I wept because I knew. Yep.
The only thing in Will's defense I'll say is that Jada's mom is 65. Dog, Google that real quick. Man, that lady looks.
Yeah, I seen her on that show.
Amazing for 60.
She got she got some work done.
I'm sure, but man, definitely. That's not bad. That's good genetics right there, man. Real talk. For sure.
Wrap it up. Ishmael, where can they find us?
Yo, you can find the Black Delegates Podcast at Twitter and Facebook. We are at Black Delegates. There's an underscore between Black and Delegates. We're also on Facebook at Black Delegates Pod. If you want to email us, let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know what you thought of the questions. We love feedback. Hit us up at the Black Delegates Pod at gmail.com. If you want to follow the Black Ryan on Twitter, he is at the Black Ryan. If you want to follow Boxwine Poppy on Twitter, he is at Boxwine Poppy. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I am at IshCreates. Paul, if people want to help out the pod, tell them what they can do.
Rate, review, and subscribe. That's what we want to do. Want you guys to do. And tell a friend.
Yo, how was the Boxwine Poppy not taken on Twitter?
Because I'm the only one dumb enough to think
it seems like somebody would have done it, though. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. All right.
Hey, that's thinking outside the box, man. Get you a fresh handle, and then never use it like I do.
Yep, just like me. Somebody gonna pay me for it one day. If you want to be the Black Ryan, message me, hit me up. Everything has a price. But until then, see y'all next week. Bye.